Great Saturday morning and welcome to the Wealth Warrior broadcast. It is April 14th, 2018, and how is everybody doing this morning? I hope you are feeling, as animated as I am, because I'm feeling pretty animated. So what's the broadcast about this morning, Brent? It is about our cash flow strategies. Remember, we are now on a serious trek to get to a destination, and that destination, my dear, all of us, is called MONEY. It is called getting our groove, getting our money on, and it is going to demand attention. Yes, it is. It demands attention. So we are getting this party started. And for the month of April, it really is all about our cash flow strategies, because quite frankly, by now, we really ought to be talking about that because we've already taken care of the taxes. Yes, I hope that we've taken care of the taxes so that we can be beyond the point that we typically are. See, a lot of people are rushing like crazy people to get their taxes done. 17th is upon us. They're running like crazy people. No, we're not running. We are walking. You know why we're walking? We are walking because we are now in the next mode. So stop and think about it. In February, we talked about minimizing our tax strategies because that was what we were doing. Then in March, it was about living a debt-free life. So for the month of April, it's about our cash flow strategies. What are we doing? Designing a plan for our futures. That's what our conversation is about right now. So given that state of affairs, today it is, and for the rest of the month, it is about the cash flow strategy. And in particular, designing, and I know I just said that, but I'm saying it again for emphasis, designing a cash flow system and designing something for our future. I had the joy of meeting with Brent Johnson this week, and in the conversation that we talked about something that I'm going to discuss in segment number 2, and I'm very enthusiastic about it. She went, whoa, and it really is about that topic. But for right now, it is about us getting in the mindset that it's cash flow and it's about the strategies. And we have an awesome software package that will do these things for us. You know, we see a lot of commercials. When you see a lot of commercials on TV and they are talking about financial planning, that is a clue. That is an economist's clue that says that either one of two things, either we better get on the bus and drive it, or if we're in front of the bus, we're going to get run over. And some of us are getting run over. And you know why we're getting run over? Because we don't want to have to deal with this stuff. Oftentimes it's complicated. It takes a lot of work to think through, and you just go, I don't have to spend time learning that. Well, here's my question for you. When do you want to retire and live your life? When? And I'll tell you what, the only way that the when can come about on your timeline, on our timeline, is if we are about the business of cash flowing strategies. Let me say a shout out and a good morning to Chantel Bethea from Women in Action out in Worcester, Massachusetts. Awesome organization, awesome woman. And the beauty about this young lady is she's done a lot by herself. She's got people surrounding her now, but she started off with a single vision and a single mission. And she has grown this organization into a mighty place. So you have an opportunity today, make it a point of going up and taking a look at her site. Not only take a look at her site, but think through, how can I support her? Chantel, good morning. With that being said, we're actually on episode number 6 of this year. I want to invite you to go up to brentharding.myecon.net. The information that I'm sharing for the entire year is coming through that website. It's coming through the membership that you have an opportunity to get, that's going to give you much more detail so that you can plan your life. You remember when we've talked in the past about the bell curve. Well, guess what? We are in it. It is happening now. The things you heard me talk about are here. That's it. They're here. And what does that mean, Brent? That means that we want to get in front of that. That means that right now, cash is king. And I've got to tell you, for those of you who are in the real estate environment, for those of you who are giving more than the usual consideration to purchasing and so on, I cannot emphasize enough. Cash makes a difference. People are selling and cash is available, and you want to have cash. With that being said, let's go and do something extraordinary. Let's get our phones and let's go about the business of inviting individuals onto the broadcast. That's right. There's my phone. Inviting individuals onto this broadcast so they get an opportunity to taste what is very, very fine. And that is the content of today's broadcast. Yay! So here's the deal. On the MyEcon, on brentharding.myecon.net, there is a portion of that is dedicated to cash flow strategies. When you become a member, you have access into some awesome videos. And one of those in particular is the cash flow strategist. Not only is it the cash flow strategist, but the software that we get to utilize. And one of the things that it talks about is, what are our goals? And when it says what are our goals, when do we want to retire? When do we want to start living? When do we want to do that? And so what it helps us to get clear about is our goals, that our goals become precise and that we are thinking through from a clear perspective. So with that being said, what it's going to help us to understand or to ask us is, when do we want to pay off this debt? Because it is about getting debt-free and having debt freedom, paying off the debt and then having debt freedom. So ask yourself a question. How much money will I need to invest now so that I can retire? Now, here's an interesting caveat. Let me ask that question again a little bit differently. Or near the same. How much money do I need to retire? What is the minimum? Okay, I'm pausing for a moment because that is a clear question. Many people have no idea of what kind of money, what do I want to retire with? And then how am I going to back in? Am I putting enough into investing so that I can retire? Or am I going to live the rest of my life working? Will I have a choice? Will I be able to get up in the morning when I feel like getting up instead of having to get up and ring a bell? So one of the things, when you go into the cash flow manager, you're going to hit a button that actually says cash flow manager. And then you're going to click another button that says cash flow strategist. You know, what's interesting is there are a lot of layers. Right now, we are in the place called pain, P-A-I-N. Why is it? We have the pain because we're going to have, in many instances, several of us are going to need to catch up. We've got to catch up with the life. And so it can be painful. In fact, I'll tell you, there are times when I sit there and I'd have light shades. The eyes are open, the shades are down. I'm exhausted thinking about it, but we don't have any choice. Or, no, that's not true. We do have a choice. We can choose to do nothing. If we do nothing, nothing is a choice. What is the price we pay for nothing? So here's the deal. One of the things that it's going to do is it's going to, it has a sampling in there. It has a demo for you to watch. And it's going to ask you a multiplicity of questions. See, the beauty about this is you can do this from the comfort of your home. Nobody has to see this except you. You, your wife, you, your family, you, your husband, I implore you though, invite your kids into the process so that they grow up. That's part of the legacy, is they will grow up having these tools and having this power. Now, the goals are based on your priorities. So the question becomes, what's the least amount of money that you'll need to retire? And think about that. Is there a mortgage that continues to need to be paid? Are you paying for your children's college? Are you, have the credit cards been paid off? Do you have a vacation do you want to take a vacation every year? Maybe twice a year. Where do you want to go? What's it going to cost? So what is the minimum that you have to have in order to retire? That is the very first question. And I've got to tell you something. It is a powerful question. The second most powerful question is, when do you want to retire? Now, in the sample, it talks about retiring in 2031. How old will you be? Do you really want to be working that long? So it is backing you in. The beauty of this software is that you can tweak it. It gives you results. Good morning, Valerie Hall. How are you this morning? And love, I appreciate that. Let me show some love back. Oh my goodness, it is great to see you this morning. I had to say hello. Of course, you know I have to do that. When I see the little things coming up and she's sending massive love, yay! Ooh, we're taking it in. We're taking it in. Oh my goodness, thank you. And so again, the two most powerful questions that they ask are, how much money? What's the minimum you're going to need? Because anything beyond the minimum is gravy. So what is the minimum that you're going to need to have coming in every month? And when do you want to retire? And sometimes you sit up there going, my goodness, Brent, I want to live my life. Everything I hear is about retire, retire, retire. I feel like I'm living my life just to retire. How about if you could retire at 45 years old? Would that be worth the pain of the work you have to do now? Because I know people that are doing that, and they are living the lifestyle. That's what I'm talking about. So what it's helping, the beauty of this is when you get the results from this software, it's got 3 strategies to discuss with you so that you can tweak. I love it. Valerie Hall says, yes, I'd like to be doing that. Yes, I would. Absolutely. Then this is the way to get there. Because the strategy, I love the conversation, because after you see that results, then the speaker says, okay, so we need to do some tweaking. For example, how much money are you and I spending on the bundled cable bill? Right here, I have the phone. We have a family home, so we still have a landline. And you know what's amazing is my friends will say, Brent, the one thing I do know is if I call the landline, if I call the house phone, I'm going to get somebody there that's going to help me to get to you. So it's a bundle package. It's the landline. It is the internet, and it is cable. However, when I saw that bill go up, can you imagine spending $250 a month? And now with channels individually, that you could be up to $300 a month. Oh, no. We need to cut some stuff out here. Maybe the bundle needs to be unbundled, because see, what happens is we're not necessarily looking at our bill every month. We're paying it, and sometimes it just passes by us. So here is the deal once again, that it's going to give you some serious results. Now I'm going to put the brakes on it right now and say, share. Hit the share button and share this broadcast with others, because this is good stuff. This is serious stuff. And I'll tell you right now, economists are saying it is a time to be serious. It is a time to be serious. And I'm going to hold off on that because I don't want to tell you all of what the economists are saying, because that happens in segment 3. So it is time, really time for us to be not looking to take action and to go up on that page, go up to BrentHarding.myEcon, because see what my econ is about. It's about my economy, your economy. It is about you. This is all about you. So BrentHarding.myEconomy.net. Down at the bottom of the page, you become a member. Members have its privilege. Members have its rank. And if you are in anywhere in the country, there's going to be somebody that can help you so that you can grow your own economy. You can do the things you need to do to have the success you want to have. And I'll tell you, if you're in the Boston area, both myself and an incredible young lady named Albertha Bogan, we are going to upsurge this. Why? Because it is about our economies. We're going to be upsurging this, and you'll hear more about an opportunity to come and hear live presentations. I've got to tell you, Albertha has been putting together a package. She is so focused and serious. It is a privilege and pleasure to be working with her on that. So again, share the information. Share this broadcast with others. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. We want to bring a family. We want to make this a serious family affair. Now, the software that I was talking about helps you to create your own plan. Your own plan. Four-letter word. Your own plan that gets you your financial success story. And we want your story to be extraordinary. Without a doubt. So it's going to, at the end of the process, what it ends up saying to you is this. Okay, if you are having a shortfall, when you put everything together, at the bottom you see a shortfall, then what it's sharing with you is there are a couple of ways for you to make adjustments so that you can increase those numbers right now. I said that it's plan and sometimes it's pain. Plan and pain. However, the sweet results is what we're going to be talking about in segment 3. So with that being said, let me give some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Nelly Rosario. Guess what, Nelly? Congratulations. You are the early riser. You get the bragging rights, dear. And Joyce Swinson has provided us with an awesome emblem. So you saw it in the feed. I put it up there this morning already. So I want to say, Nell Rosario, you got it. Joyce Swinson, thank you ever so much for that icon there, because it's got the rooster. The rooster awakes early. And if you have ever been to Caribbean countries, you will hear the rooster at about 6 o'clock in the morning. He is, in fact, your wake-up call. I loved it. I remember the first time I heard it, I'm looking around going, what in the world? Roosters are the wake-up call. I want to give a shout out to Regina Jones Jenkins, who spent her first week on her new job. She is thrilled. And I'll tell you what, it is now time for her to start with that first check, the income shifting. And if you do not know what income shifting is, guess what? You need to have a membership so that you can follow the process and bring some more revenue in, so that prepares you not only for your retirement, but it prepares you for living right now. BrentHarding.myEcon.net. And guess what? When you have your page, you have your site, it'll be your name, because you will be a member. Want to give a shout out again to Albertha Bogan. Morning. Dr. Wright out of California. She checks out the page, checks out the show, and she lets me know, yeah, Brent, it was on point, or you need to work on a few things. Pamela Stone, which you know, Pamela has a broadcast on Wednesday evenings, so you want to be on the watch for that as well. Now, hit the share button, because we're going on to segment number 2. And what are we going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to talk about the end of segment 1, and that is, I wanted to share with you what some of the strategies that you are going to hear, those smart cash flow strategies. It's going to share the video. It's going to share with you that your membership not only Does it benefit you? You have the ability to use that to benefit others. First of all, it's going to benefit you because you are a member, and as a member, you get to make deductions. You get to deduct the monthly fee for that membership. That becomes a tax deduction for you because you got a twofer. Not only did you get a membership for yourself, you also have a business. Now, some of you are going to say, Brent, I don't want to be in business. I just want to go to my 9 to 5 and I want to forget it on the weekends. Well, here's the beauty. It's a twofer. You can choose to use it for your own part-time business, or you can choose not to. It's all about you. However, by sharing the information, and other people say, hey, I want in because you're sharing that information. Guess what happens? When they become members, you actually get a check. And I'll tell you one thing. I have a dear friend of mine, Brother Nate, and Nate said, did you get a check? If you got a check, then guess what? It's a good day. Now, that is going to be something that's very powerful. You're getting a twofer. One of the other things that they're going to talk about in terms of a cash flow strategy is, are you income shifting? Have you gotten that W-4 and taken those federal dollars and put them to effective use? It's going to talk about your investing. What are you investing in? You know what my take is on investing. My take on investing is this. Where are you eating at? Where do you go out and eat at? Does that restaurant, does that organization, institution, whatever it is there a possibility of purchasing shares? Are you taking advantage of that? How many of you are shopping at certain stores? Are you checking out to see if they in fact have shares? Are they publicly traded? Do you have some shares? There are stores, when I walk into that store now, that store is my store. Why? Because I bought shares and I've invested in it. So by virtue of that, guess what? It is sweet in the summertime and it is warm in the winter, no matter how much snow is outside. So it is imperative for you to start looking at what you're doing. And is there any way that what you're doing can be monetized? Can I make some money from it? Can I make some money from it? That's the mindset we need to be in. That is the mindset. And I will tell you what, these tools help you get there. Because right now, it's about the tools. I'm sharing the periphery with you. You got to dig deep in. Just like you have to dig deep in and share. Did you share this morning? Did you share this broadcast? Have you let other folks know that we are here? Because we are. And by the way, it is a very serious possibility that I am going to have a co-host with me who at times will be sharing the broadcast with you because I may be out of town. So it's going to go on this year. I'm going to be training and bringing aboard an individual who's going to be able to have the enthusiasm that I have for what we're doing right now. Been doing this now for 3 years. And guess what? I'm just getting fired up. Woo! Just getting fired up. So with that being said, let's talk about the 3 L's. This is now I've got a couple of mantras to share with you. The 3 L's: live, lifestyle, legacy. Live, lifestyle, legacy. It is now about the 3 L's of your life. How are you living right now to create the lifestyle that you want to have and pass that on to the next generation? Live, lifestyle, legacy. That's what we're talking about here. And I want to give a shout out to Britt Johnson, who runs Boss Lady. She has a broadcast called Boss Lady. I have the privilege of being asked to be on Boss Lady. I'm very enthusiastic about that. I'll keep you up to date. And that was something, and I bring this up because we were talking about that very subject, is how are we living now? Are we able to pare it down to invest so that we can retire earlier? Living now, what is the lifestyle? And under lifestyle, we can write the word retirement. We can write the word live better. We can write the word modify. Why? So that we can create the lifestyle we want. When was the last time you traveled? I was just waiting for you to think about it. When was the last time you traveled? Do you have time to plan a trip this year? We cannot work 40 hours a week and not have a prize, a present for ourselves. Did you give yourself something? Did you reward yourself? Live, lifestyle, legacy. And how do we make that happen? We make that happen by what we're doing right now. We're watching the broadcast. We're putting a mindset on. We're going up to brentharding.myecon.net, and we are creating our own membership. We're looking at the most powerful tools. And I've got to share something with you about these tools. I continue to be amazed at how much is there. Continue to be amazed at the fact that I can go back. You can go back and keep listening until you get it right. They've got everything there for you. And the beauty is you're seeing the human connection, the human factor. You can do it in slow motion, or you can speed it up. Your knowledge base. 3 L's. How are you living your life right now? How do you want to create? How do you want to live in the next 5 years? Is your family involved? Living or live, lifestyle, and legacy. You remember me sharing with you that my nephew is interested in baseball. Yeah. And I said, well, then we need to find a business for you. He's 11 years old. We need to find a business for you. And so what was the natural thought process? The natural thought process for me was baseball cards. Do you know how much people invest in baseball cards? And so I said, now, okay, we're going to start a bank. Here's the bank of dollars. Now, you are 11. You're going to manage this. You know why? Because you know more about baseball than I do. But here's something I do know. That's the bank. Do not lose my money. I texted him yesterday, and I said, nephew, have you done the research? And are we ready to get started? And he is ready. He's going to make his presentation to me. He's going to tell me about the baseball cards, where the houses are that host the baseball events, baseball card events, and how much money we're going to need to get started. And we're going to buy those first cards. See, that is the legacy part. Find something that is fun for them. And then move forward. And they will carry the ball forward. And you know what it does for us? It rejuvenates us. It does rejuvenate us. Got another nephew that's interested in currency. So we've got a strategy for that currency. So ready for that kind of thing. Find something that your family can be involved in, and it will become a project that has legs and moves. And I'll tell you, there is nothing like getting a printout and seeing the money flow. You put that information into the cash flow manager, cash flow strategist, and let the results materialize until you get to a place you've tweaked it enough that it gets you your numbers. That's what I'm talking about. With that being said, let's talk about announcements. April 18th, this coming Wednesday, I will see you at the Point, 147 Hanover Street in Boston. Parking, there is off-street parking on Blackstone Street and a couple of streets right in the area. The event starts at 6:30, and actually it's a combination. It is the networking and after party meets the Women in Business Supper Club, and that's run by Chiquita Rice. So Chiquita Rice and Brent Harding are coming together so that we can forge networking. And it is about the networking. Whether you might be looking for a decision maker that can help you get your career path on track or can advance your career track, your career path. And so you might be looking for a decision maker. You may meet somebody in the room that either they're the decision maker or they know a decision maker. That is going to be extraordinary. This coming Wednesday, April 18th, The Point, 147 Hanover Street in downtown Boston, Massachusetts. You will be meeting myself and Chiquita Rice and a group of awesome people that understand that networking is something that is a necessity. It has to happen. And yes, the reason that it has to happen is because that is how you create your visibility. You know, Dr. Ivan, who is the owner of BNI, talked about he said it's called a VCP. It's becoming visible. Visibility begets you credibility. Credibility begets you what? Credibility begets you profitability. Whether you get a raise, whether you increase your income, whether you're an entrepreneur and increase your business, but you've got to have those three. So guess what? We're providing the first one. That is visibility. April 18th, Wednesday evening, 6:30 p.m. That is one. Secondly, on April 26th, I will be hosting a morning event, 8 a.m., really focused on entrepreneurs. It is another networking event. It is a different style of networking. We are going to disrupt everything and make networking phenomenal. We've got a secret weapon that is so delicious that every networking event that I'm going to be doing that falls within these breakfast events, and I'm going to do these breakfast events once a month, and they have there's going to be different techniques that you are going to get every single month on networking. So this is heavily focused on entrepreneurs. So if you are an entrepreneur, it is heavily focused on you. However, do know this: the conversations lead to other people. You know, have you ever been in a room and somebody says, I can't think, I can't do it, but there's somebody, and then suddenly they remember that somebody. That's what you're looking for. So if you are a career builder and you are enjoying your career, just as Regina Jones Jenkins is enjoying hers, but here's something that's very powerful. She says, you know what? I am working here. However, I like a part-time gig. And so she is making that a part of her part-time. She's got a part-time gig there. I'm just saying. So you've got to mark your calendar for the 18th and mark it for the 26th. And we are going to be in a location. We're going to be in a gallery. And the artwork in that gallery is extraordinary. It is exquisite. I went by there yesterday and I fell in love with that location. It was absolutely unequivocally outstanding. So before we go into the next segment, let's talk about what was discussed this morning. First and foremost, we talked about what have we been discussing thus far this year. We've talked about minimizing our taxes. We've talked about our tax strategies. We've talked about income shifting. We did that in February. So right now, our mind should be sailing into April and the April discussion. In March, we talked about living a debt-free life. And I love something Joyce Swinson said. She said, I'm living a debt-free life. Yay! Yes, because that's what we want to be doing. And then this month, for the month of April, we're talking about cash flow strategies. Because see, our taxes should already be resolved because we did that stuff back in February and March. And now it's about the planning. Preparation prevents poor planning. We've got to prepare. We've got to prepare not only for today, but for tomorrow. We're talking about that bell curve because we are now living the bell curve that I've talked about for the past couple of years. We are living the bell curve. Are you living the bell curve? Because cash is king. If you notice all across America, what is happening? Building and building and building. The difference between getting a property, in some instances, you can make offers that are $20,000, $30,000 less. Why? Because you've got cash. And I got to tell you, there are enough people that were preparing for this, So they've got the cash and they are ready to negotiate. Sweet hour. Yes, it is. We're talking today about the cash flow strategy, designing a plan for your future. Because it's not about me, it's about you. Design a plan. Notice that operative word, design. You get to make the choices. And we've got tools. We've got a software package on brentharding.myecon.net. We've got a software package that allows you to tweak it. Now, if we were purchasing those software packages, we were working with the financial planners, those packages would be substantial. Because a lot of times you're paying a la carte, piece by piece by piece by piece. Now you get to be the driver. Why? Because membership has its privileges. We talked about they're in that software package under the cash flow strategist. They have a sample for you to go through. And then you will do it for yourself. There are a multiplicity of questions. Oh my goodness. Because what they talk about is debt payoff and debt freedom day. What is your debt freedom day? A multiplicity of questions. They're talking about your goals, and your goals are based on your priorities. So your goals are going to be different from my goals. However, two powerful questions. One is, what's the least amount of money you're going to need to retire? And when do you want to retire? Those two are going to converge. And when they do converge, you are going to get results. The beauty is you're going to tweak it, and they are going to make suggestions for you so that you don't even have to think about it that much. They are going to make the suggestions for you. Why? Because they've been at the game a heck of a lot longer than most of us. But and ultimately, it is about our smart cash flow strategies. And they've got some incredible answers for us. So that was something that we talked about. We also talked about what I'm coining the 3 L's. And that is live, lifestyle, and legacy. I'm going to give you another mantra. And you've probably seen that around on my pages, on my personal page. You might have seen it here. And we're going to keep resurrecting that. And a mantra right now is starve the distractions. Feed the focus. Starve those distractions. Because you know what? Distractions can take us out. And they have taken a lot of us out. I know they've taken me out. We've got to starve them, not get distracted, because time goes by so quickly. For those of you who are over 30, and I'm not going to ask you, are you? But what I'm going to say is this. Do you remember when time used to go by so slowly, and now time goes by like a rocket ship? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So starve the distractions. Feed the focus, and the focus is designing a plan. Now, we've got one more segment here. So, have you picked up the phone? And are you letting people know? Share! Don't be selfish. Share the broadcast, because we want everybody here, especially for the end of the broadcast. We've already given you all of what occurred, but we've got a couple more things to share. Now, did you mark your calendar for this Wednesday? If you are in the Massachusetts area, then you want to be with us at the Point for the networking and after party meet Women in Business, the Women in Business Supper Club. Brent Harding and Chiquita Rice are coming together at the Point, 147 Hanover Street in Boston, 6:30 p.m. You want to be there. We've got some networking for you to experience. On Thursday, the 26th, mark your calendar. The Eventbrite page will be up, and we're going to have a breakfast-style event. It's a networking breakfast. We are going to have some refreshments for a certainty. However, you might want to eat that boiled egg before you get there so that you got the protein. We're going to bring you the snacks and coffee, and we are going to network. Different kind of style networking. However, it is all about the visibility, the credibility, the profitability. It is about connecting with people. And here's the beauty. There's not going to be any shame in our game. We are there to network, connect, and cut a deal. How's that? Doesn't get any simpler than that. Come and observe. See what's going on. Exciting! I'll tell you what, I did it at the Dudley Main Street's breakfast, the annual event. We had a blast. And we're going to do it again. We're going to do it on a monthly basis. Why? Because we want to create that community of business people who get it and want to continue to participate and want to grow their businesses. Those that want to grow their careers, meet people that can, you know what? There is nothing greater than somebody being able to make a phone call on your behalf, make an introduction on your behalf, and have your life change as a result of it. With that being said, I want to make sure that we give a shout out to Nelly Rosario. She has bragging rights this week. You are to be congratulated. Be sure on Wednesday that you take a look at Pamela Stone. She has a broadcast every Wednesday evening. You're having a conversation with Pamela Stone. Now, what are economists saying? What are economists saying? Well, I've got news for you. Economists are actually saying, pay attention to income shifting. Pay attention, because there is so much that's going on right now between, what is fascinating is between the tax strategies and the tax change that occurred, there is so much going on that we want to be keeping our eye on the ball of the Fed. We want to understand, because things are changing. In fact, I'll tell you something. The reason that they're saying to pay attention, in particular to income shifting, is because at this very moment, there are tax preparers, tax accountants, there are tax counselors. Anybody that's in the tax environment is got their hair on fire. You know why? Because the guidelines are still being written while this tax year is moving forward. The guidelines are being written that are going to affect people in 2019. When you do your taxes for 2018, what's happening is going to affect you. And right now, a lot of the tax preparers do not have enough information to give you so that you can prepare effectively. So how does that tie into the income shifting? It ties in because when you do that, you're going to have some extra income to both invest and to pay off debt. And I'm going to tell you something that they're saying. Make sure that you've got parallel tracks, that you are paying down and you are investing, because some people are taking it and just paying off everything, paying off the debt. And yes, you do want to do that. However, you want to have income, you want to have the investment income building, because there's something called compound building. It's compounding your income. You want those dollars, that residual revenue that you just created for yourself, you want it compounding so that it is building up. So a lot of times people say, well, I just want to pay it off. Please, I implore you, I beg you, economists are saying have a balance. While you are paying down this to create your debt freedom day, you are also having revenue coming up. And you've got to work those parallel tracks. Income shifting will give you the opportunity to create the parallel tracks. Now, what economists are saying is it's up to us. We've got to raise the knowledge bar. We cannot be about the business of leaving it to someone else. So you just heard me talk about compounding. You heard me talk about income shifting. So you heard those languages. Do you know what they mean? And how do you fit them into your life? Because it's not about me. It's about you. It is about us, which actually is the third element that economists are saying. They are saying that it is about us. We cannot rely on chaos. We've got to make the informed decisions. Articles are being written. There are a multiplicity of articles that have come out this week, and I've synthesized them down into the top three. What are economists saying? They are saying pay attention to income shifting. If you do not know what income shifting is about, then you want to go up to brentharding.myecon.net and get details. Understand, pull in some more money that you can invest. We've got to raise our knowledge bar. We've got to raise the bar on our understanding so that we can make the informed decisions. Because you know what is sad? At the end of the day, when I hear people say that my financial planner made a turn that I didn't expect, they are in the art of financial planning. It does not mean that they are bad people. However, it means that it happens to them too. So that's why we, number three, have got to be knowledgeable, because it's about you, it's about me, it's about him, or it's about him. We've got to be able to ask the questions. We cannot leave our financial lives as well as our legacy for the next generation to someone else. Because we're grown folk. We're not kids, we're grown. And if we are in fact grown, then guess what? It is up to us to make the decisions. When do you want to retire? Next week, and for the rest of this month, we are talking about cash flow strategies. You and I are becoming cash flow strategists. We're designing our plan for ourselves. We're not leaving it up to somebody else. I want to say, this is Brent Harding. I have enjoyed being with you on Saturday morning. I am loving it. I want to thank Valerie. I want to thank you very much for putting some love out there for me. I want to say we will be back next week, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are talking the month about becoming our own cash flow strategist. We want to design our own plan. I will see you next week, the same time, the same channel, and it has been my pleasure to be with you this morning. Go out today and be absolutely extraordinary. And I will see you next week.